Hi, I'm Caroline Foster, and this is the story of how my supposed perfect wedding day turned into a complete disaster, and how that disaster turned into the sweetest, most satisfying revenge anyone could ever dream of. You've heard the saying, right? That your wedding day is supposed to be the happiest day of your life. Well, for me, it was supposed to be just that, but instead, it became the day my family revealed their true selves. And I realized that sometimes losing everything can be the beginning of gaining something so much more powerful. Let me rewind and start from the beginning. In my family, there were always two clear paths: my sister Isabella's way, the golden way, and then there was my way. Isabella was the epitome of success, the Harvard graduate who quickly climbed the corporate ladder and became the youngest director at Crowley Global Finance by the age of 28. And me? Well, I was the disappointment. According to them, I was always just figuring things out. While Isabella thrived in the corporate world, I spent 5 years in secret, building my own startup from scratch. By day, I juggled various odd jobs: coffee shop barista, freelance writer, part-time receptionist, all to pay the bills while I coded at night, pouring my heart into my business. My family saw the struggle, but never understood the vision. Every dinner was another round of uncomfortable concern. Still jumping between jobs, Caroline? Isabella would say, her smirk barely hiding her disdain. I could pull some strings and get you a role at Crowley, if you'd just ask nicely. Our mother would chime in, listen to your sister, darling, she knows the ropes. But I had a secret. While they thought I was just scraping by, I was building something that would change the game. It was a financial tech platform designed to help small businesses navigate international payments, and I called it Global Pay Solutions. Then I met Lucas. He wasn't like anyone I'd ever met. A software engineer with an eye for innovation, he quickly became not just my fiancé, but my business partner, helping to make Global Pay a reality. We kept our success under wraps, operating under a different name until after the wedding. We wanted the day to be about us, not about the empire we were quietly building. Our platform was gaining traction fast, and we'd attracted attention from a few major players in finance, one of which just happened to be Crowley Global Finance. What Isabella didn't know, however, was that our negotiations were being handled under an alias, and that I was the one behind the deals. She was about to find out, but not in the way she expected. The wedding was set for Saturday, June 15th, at the elegant Riviera Grand Hotel, and everything was perfectly planned. I'd spent months organizing every detail, hoping my family might finally see me as more than the failed daughter, but I hadn't anticipated Isabella's interference. It started with the pre-ceremony photos. Isabella, as my maid of honor, a decision that was more about keeping the peace than my own wishes, kept making little barbed comments to the photographer. Make sure to capture her best angle, though I'm not sure if she has one, she'd quip. Maybe we should brighten the colors, something to make it look more high-end. I forced a smile and moved on, trying to focus on the joy of the moment, but it only escalated during the ceremony. As I stood at the altar, ready to begin my vows, Isabella suddenly stepped forward, champagne flute in hand. The look in her eyes wasn't just cold, it was vindictive. I'm sorry, she announced loudly, causing the room to fall silent, but I can't sit idly by and watch my little sister make this mistake. The guests froze, and even the officiant hesitated. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest. You see, Isabella continued, turning to the crowd with a smile too sweet to be genuine, Caroline has always been the family disappointment. She can't hold down a job, lives in a cramped apartment, and now she's rushing into marriage with someone equally clueless. My stomach sank as she tore me apart with her words. Who would marry someone so lost? Isabella's laughter rang out, cruel and loud, filling the room. Lucas, do you really want to tie yourself to someone who can't even pay her own bills? I looked to my parents for support. My mom barely hid a nod of agreement, and my dad, well, he didn't even look up. It was the same expression of disappointment I'd seen for years. Isabella wasn't done. What kind of future can you offer him, Caroline? You're in debt, living paycheck to paycheck. Do you honestly think someone like him would want to build a life with you? The room buzzed with murmurs, and I could feel every pair of eyes on me. Lucas's family shifted uncomfortably, and I saw the first glimmers of doubt in their eyes. That's when Lucas stepped forward, ready to defend me, but I stopped him. This wasn't his fight, it was mine. You're right, Isabella, I said, my voice surprisingly steady. This wedding is a mistake. Gasps echoed through the hall. Isabella's smile grew wider, triumphant, but I wasn't finished. But not for the reasons you think, I continued, my voice cutting through the tension. I turned to the guests and, with all eyes on me, took off my veil and spoke into the microphone. I'm sorry, but there won't be a wedding today, not because I'm a failure, but because I won't share this day with people who have never believed in me. Thank you for coming, but please, enjoy the reception without us. I took Lucas's hand firmly and walked out, leaving behind the stunned silence and Isabella's furious muttering. As we sped away from the Riviera Grande, Lucas squeezed my hand and smiled. You know what this means, right? I nodded, already pulling out my phone. Time to fast-track everything. Make the call. Caroline? Isabella blinked in disbelief. What are you doing here? Security, I smiled, pulling out my ID badge. Didn't you get the memo, sis? I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Her face twisted in anger. If this is about Saturday, you're making a huge mistake. You can't just walk in here. I cut her off, walking past her toward the CEO's office, her office. Until an hour ago, actually, I said, pushing open the door. I can. Inside, I saw the freshly mounted nameplate, Caroline Foster, Chief Executive Officer, Global Pay Solutions, Crowley International. The silence was suffocating. Isabella's coffee cup slipped from her trembling hand, shattering on the polished floor. Her underlings scrambled like startled birds, avoiding my gaze. This can't be real, Isabella stammered. You work at a coffee shop. I eased into the plush CEO chair, savoring the moment. Past tense, but I'll admit, making lattes was a lot less stressful than building a billion-dollar fintech empire. Speaking of which, I pressed the intercom. Send in the transition team, please. The next hour was a whirlwind of activity. My team, the one Isabella never saw coming, stormed the office with precision. Security systems were updated, the IT department executed emergency tasks, and new organizational charts were distributed. Isabella stood frozen, watching everything she thought she owned slip from her grasp. Then came the moment I'd been anticipating. My parents stormed into the office, Dad's face crimson with fury, Mom barely holding it together. What is the meaning of this? Dad bellowed. Isabella called us. He stopped mid-sentence, his eyes scanning the scene, me sitting behind the CEO's desk, Isabella pale as death by the door, and the wall screen proudly displaying Global Pay's current valuation, $6. 3 billion. Hello, Dad, I said coolly. Mom, please take a seat. We need to discuss some changes. Changes? Mom's voice trembled. What changes? I pulled out a folder with deliberate slowness. For starters, Isabella's position here at Crowley, considering the clear conflict of interest and her recent behavior, the board has decided she should step down. You can't do this, Isabella whispered hoarsely. This company is everything to me. Like my wedding was supposed to be everything to me? I shot back. But don't worry, sis. Unlike you, I'm not heartless. You'll get a severance package, though it might not cover your lifestyle. Dad finally found his voice. Now listen here, Caroline. No, Dad, you listen. I stood up, my voice sharp but controlled. 4 years, you treated me like a failure, a disappointment, while I was quietly building something revolutionary. You were too busy worshipping Isabella to even care about what I was doing. I turned toward the window, gazing at the sprawling city below. Did you know that Global Pay processes over $60 billion in annual transactions? That we've completely transformed cross-border payments for small businesses? No, because you never asked. You were too busy dismissing my dead-end jobs. Turning back, I caught the flicker of something in my father's eyes, a mixture of surprise and begrudging respect. But it was too little, too late. Security will escort you out, Isabella. HR has your severance package. I pressed the intercom again. And Mom, Dad, the family dinner this Sunday? It's cancelled, permanently. As they were escorted out, Isabella turned and sneered. This isn't over, Caroline. I flashed her a smile. Actually, it is. And thank you, Isabella, for ruining my wedding. You helped me dodge a bullet. Having you all in my life? Not worth it. As they were led away, Michael appeared in the doorway, grinning from ear to ear. How'd it feel? I laughed. A deep, genuine laugh for the first time since the wedding. Like winning the lottery, only better because we earned every cent. Isabella's face when she saw that nameplate. He chuckled. Priceless, I agreed, but not nearly as priceless as next week, when she finds out all her stock options are now worthless because of the acquisition. The rest of the day was a blur of meetings, presentations, and congratulatory messages from board members who had never met the mysterious founder of Global Pay until today. By evening, financial news outlets had caught wind of the story, tech genius acquires Crawley International in shocking takeover. Later that night, as Michael and I celebrated in our penthouse, the one Isabella never even knew existed, I received a text from Mom, "We're sorry, we didn't know." I didn't respond. Some bridges, once burned, should stay that way. In the weeks that followed, things unfolded in ways no one expected. Under my leadership, Crowley's international division smoothly integrated with Global Pay, and our stock soared. Isabella, I heard, was demoted to a junior role at a smaller firm. Karma, they say, is a patient investor. Mom and Dad tried everything to reconcile: tearful voicemails, extravagant gifts, and lavish apologies. I donated all the gifts to charity, a final lesson in humility. As for me, I threw myself into growing the company, expanding into new markets, launching cutting-edge products, and helping countless small businesses flourish on the global stage. 6 months later, I had my perfect wedding, an intimate ceremony on a private beach in the Maldives, surrounded only by those who truly believed in us. No family drama, no fake smiles, just pure, unfiltered joy. Sometimes people ask me if I regret the way things turned out with my family. My answer is simple: success is the best revenge, but peace is the greatest victory. I lost a toxic family, but I gained an empire, and more importantly, my self-respect. Isabella still tries to reach out from time to time, usually when she needs something. Each message goes straight to spam. Some people never learn, but I did. I learned that the ones who call you worthless are just scared of their own mediocrity. These days, when I look out over the city from my office window, I don't feel anger, I feel gratitude, grateful that they underestimated me, grateful they pushed me away, because sometimes, being excluded from the table is exactly what you need to build your own empire. And as for that saying about success being the best revenge, let's just say it's even sweeter when served from the corner office, with your name on the door.